Welcome to A Scribe's Scribbles. This is episode 11. Today, we're going to continue discussing our work from home options of creating income as we turn our skills that we already have into large sums of money. So stick around and talk about that. Alright guys, let's buckle down here. I have my notes in front of me. I know I'm old school and still use pen and paper instead of teleprompters and other things. Got my coffee, and I hope you're ready to learn how to turn your skills into money. Last week, I had you discover your skill sets, and there was a homework in the newsletter to categorize them into groups. If you read the blog from this Monday, you learned how to find out what your most viable and profitable skills were. If you didn't read the blog, head over to extradraft.com. Check it out. It'll be How to Earn $1 Million Part 2. And have a look. I'll wait. I'm just kidding. You can hit pause if you haven't read the blog. I won't go anywhere, I promise. But I'm going to assume that you've read the blog, you're all caught up, you have your skill sets and your categories written down, narrowed down, and we're going to get into it here. I want you to focus on turning your skills into a high-value product. So we're going to figure out how to do just that. You should have your skills ready by now. If you follow the blog, you now know which of your skills are currently in the marketplace, which ones are being actively sought after and paid for. And I'm going to continue using the drawing example from this week's blog post. The first thing to do is to determine what type of product or service your particular skills can create. Now, there are two basic main types of products. There's the physical and the digital. Now, physical products are normally high value products. They may not have the reach you're hoping for, though. If you remember from last week, we were talking about the woodworker who made bedroom sets, headboards and end tables and nightstands and dressers and things. Now, he can build a bedroom set that's worth $2,000. However, once you subtract his materials, the cost of his tools, tool repair or replacement, he's got to replace saw blades and sandpaper and things, his time, his trips to the lumber yard, shipping of the final products, the marketing to get people to know that he's there and buy the products, the overall value of this drops. So while he may be able to sell a set for $1,000, when everything's said and done, his net profit may only be $500 or $1,000. Digital products, on the other hand, can be just as difficult to create, and they're also high value. The difference is, once they're created, you don't have to create them again. So the woodworker would have to physically create each bedroom set every time there's an order. So if he sells 1,000 of them, he's got to create 1,000 of them. For digital products, once you create the product, it's there, and you can continuously sell it over and over again. So we're going to focus our skill set in the digital product area because this is the most viable, and I won't say it's the easiest, but it is simpler in the long run. And I can assume that you can see how much smarter it is to create a single product and sell it 1,000 times versus creating 1,000 products and having to sell each one individually. So what are the digital products? Okay. In short, digital products are items that are sold online. They're accessed through a web browser or a download, and they're not typically tangible goods. So examples of these would be ebooks, PDFs, songs, videos, lists, blog posts, even PowerPoint presentations. How do we create these things? Well, I'm glad you asked. The idea is simple. The execution, though, is a bit more difficult. So our artist, if you remember from the blog post, uses drawing as her skill set. She wants to create some digital products to sell. That's awesome, right? So we need to look at her options. Audio, such as a podcast, isn't going to work for her. Artists need the visual aids. They need to be able to show their students or their clients or their customers what they are actually doing. I'm sure you can imagine how boring Bob Ross's Joy of Painting would be if it was on the radio instead of the TV. So if you have a skill set that can be taught over an audio source, that's great, because that just gives you one more product for your overall package. Most of us won't be that lucky, though. So we're going to stick to the visual style of digital products here. The big sellers right now are ebooks and PDFs, video courses, and presentations. So if we take the artist, for example, she can make a step-by-step PDF guide, or she could write a how-to ebook. She can even create an online video course. But the key here is to discover how many different options there are and how much you are willing to do. Creating a PDF handout is one of the easiest forms of digital products there are. You may have to hire somebody to style it for you to make it look pretty, but you can usually find those on things like Fiverr or Upwork for just a few bucks. So when you sell your PDF, it's not going to be a high value product. You might be able to sell it for 10 or even 15 bucks. But this artist, she could make her ebook, and again, she may have to style it. She may have to outsource some of the formatting or something if she doesn't know how to do that. But the price point's a little higher. It's a little more in depth, and you can do a lot more with an ebook than just a standard PDF, step by step. And you can sell them for 30, 40, 50 bucks. The video course is going to be her big ticket item. You can sell the video course for 97 bucks, 200 bucks, all the way up to 500. I've seen video courses that go for over $1,000 a piece. So it just depends on how in depth it is and what's entailed and how much value is given for the price. But what if she does all of them? So now she has a PDF, she has an ebook, and a video course, and she can create a package. So she can sell them individually, but she can also sell them as a package. So maybe individually they're worth 250 bucks, but she could sell the package for 225 as an incentive to get all of them. This is great, but we have to remember we're looking for viable high-ticket items, but we're also looking for the least amount of sales to reach our goal of the $1 million. So if this artist created the ebook and the PDF and the video course, and she sold all three of them for, say, 250 bucks, she'd have to sell 4,000 packages to reach $1 million. That's not a whole lot, but it could be a lot simpler. The problem with this numbers game is that when you have these products individually and a package, some people are going to come by and they're only going to buy the ebook, or they're only going to buy the PDF, or they're only going to buy the video course. some are going to buy the package and get all three. But because you're not selling the $250 for every person, some of them are only spending 10, some of them are only spending 30, or whatever your prices are for the individual products, that 4,000 sales to reach the $1 million now turns into 7 or 8 or even 10,000 sales to reach your goal of $1 million. So we got to think, how can we shorten this? The easiest solution is more products. And I know what you're thinking. Well, I already have my skill set here. I've created this product and I want to sell this product based on this skill set. So now I want you to think about expanding your skill set. The artist, for example, could break up her skill set. She could have her package on basic drawing. She could have her video course, her ebook, and a PDF that covers basic drawing skills. And then she could do another one for shading techniques, or another one for advanced drawing. She could even go so far as to do a new package for the different types of artistic mediums. There could be one for pen and pencil techniques, another for watercolors, and on and on and on. You can see how this can expand. She's still using the drawing and artistic skill set, but now she's breaking it up into these smaller pieces. And the reason you want to do this is that most of your sales are going to come from current customers. So the person who buys the artist's basic drawing course or basic drawing package will most likely also buy the advanced course as well. So now the $250 basic package, $250, the basic drawing package, leads to the sale of the $400 advanced package. And that might lead to the sale of the $150 shading package. So one person now is responsible for $1,000 in sales for the one artist. And once you start getting into this aspect of your product development and sales, your magic number is now in the hundreds instead of the tens of thousands. And as you can see, it's not going to be easy work. And I told you this last week. This is hard work, but it's hard work for a short amount of time. Unlike the woodworker who has to do the hard work continuously, if you're doing a digital product, if you're making a course or an ebook or a PDF or a PowerPoint presentation or a podcast or a blog post, whatever your packages and your products and services entail, you have to do them once. And once they're done, you just resell them over and over and over again. One leads to another, leads to another. Customers are repeat customers. They bring in new customers. And before you know it, instead of selling 4,000 packages at $250, now you only have to sell 1,000 packages to these customers because they're going to buy multiples. So you're going to reach that $1 million sooner. It is going to be a lot more work for you, but it's not going to take that much more time. And I'll give you a hint right now. An ebook, basic ebook, a how-to or a guide, or if you're a writer like I am, the writing aspect of it, getting the ebook finalized is going to take you about 3 or 4 months. A PDF may take you 3 or 4 weeks. A video course depends on how many lessons there are, how many videos there are, but you can average out about 8 to 10 hours per video. So if you have a 20 lesson course, you're looking at about 6 to 8 months for the final product to be ready to go. So it's a lot of work. It's going to be hard work, but you got to power through, because once you're done and it's online and it's for sale, you're hard work is over. Now comes the finding the customers and the marketing and things like that we'll get into much later. But right now I want you to figure out what it is in your skill set, what products you can create from them, and then break them down even more if it's possible. So if you're going to create a video course and you say, look, this is my skill set, this is what I've decided that's the most viable for me, and I want to make a video course about it to teach other people how to develop this skill. Think about how you can turn it into 2 or 3 or even 5 video courses, maybe more, maybe less, maybe you only get 2, but if you can get more, it turns into more sales from the same original people that bought the first one. So once you have the plan that you're excited about, it's basically time to get to work. So tomorrow, I'm going to release the newsletter. We'll wrap this week up and we'll wrap this lesson up. And in it, I will leave you with a homework assignment to help you discover the best products and packages to create so that you know where to head in your next adventure. So check out the blogs if you haven't. Catch up on the podcast if you haven't already. And check out the newsletter when it's released tomorrow. And until next week, have fun and write words.